Hi, Shelby Long, Senior Vice President of the Strategic Advisor Board and CEO of Business Dynamics, here working with businesses on their communication infrastructure to help identify their brand, help enhance the culture in their business, help really move your business to the next level. Because your communication infrastructure is really how you implement all of your plans and strategies. All week, I've been talking about the power of communication, the power of these soft skills, making sure that as leaders, it's incumbent upon us to practice those skills and to be more persuasive in our communication, using some voice inflection and using these key strategies to be able to identify the key takeaways of what we're saying. Then on the other side of that, understanding about how listening is an important piece of what we need to do with our communication structure. Because when we listen, we have a clear understanding of our audience. And when we listen, we have a clear understanding of maybe changes that need to be made or alterations that need to be made in our practices. All of those things are aligned when we open those communication structure. So those soft skills are really critical. Also, we have an understanding too that this does not happen overnight. This is something we need to practice. So joining a Toastmasters club or taking a class at the university or even practicing in your mirror, whatever it takes, make sure that you practice and make sure that you harness those skills. Today, I'm going to talk about, I give this tip in this presentation quite often, but I think it's really important to think about how that we can be persuasive in our communication and how important it is to think about different ways to connect with audiences. This goes back into the ancient times of how we used to persuade large audiences. When Aristotle's day, how did he persuade large audiences to believe him? And how do we think about those things? We think about them on an emotional level, on a logical level, and then on an authority or credibility level. And as leaders, engaging all of those types of appeals to be able to connect with your audience, connect with your clients, connect with your potential clients, that's a way we can look of making that connection so it's something that aligns everybody under the same strategy. Let's talk a little bit about emotional appeals. We think about emotional appeals and we think about sob stories or using fear or using motivation, using pity or motivation to get people involved in the story. You think of those commercials that have the sad music playing in the background with the pets that need help. And we think about that as using an emotional appeal, but really your emotional appeals go quite a bit deeper than that. And I talked yesterday about how important it was to be emotionally involved in your presentation, to show that you care, to be inspired and motivational. That's the things that are really going to start to transition the feel and the culture of your company, is using some motivational and emotional appeals like that. So think about how you can use some different appeals, use some stories, use your journey to be able to talk about those things. Change your voice. All of those things are ways that we can further motivate our employees. When it comes to logic, we think of logic as something like we follow a logical process, and if I'm in a math class, I do something in a logical process, or if I'm a lawyer, I explain something in a logical connection of how the evidence is connected to the conclusion. Logic is a different construct for almost every business. But what logic does is it helps show the audience that you've thought through this process, and walking your audience through the process of why you've decided to take a certain action or initiative, or why you've decided to move in a certain direction. That's a really important way to connect with your employees. Again, connecting under the mission, vision, connecting your operations to the overall goal of your business is really key. We can think about using logic to do that too. Then our credibility and our authority appeals are often either already there because you're in the leadership position, but it's important to know for your audience to know why you're in that leadership position. Show them why you're in that leadership position. Be that motivator. Be that person that can inspire them to work. There's really important ways to think about how we can do that. And as you start to think about these different methods of how to adapt to your audience, you'll become a much more persuasive and influential leader in your business. I'm here all week talking about communication strategies to help elevate your business to the next level. Contact me at shelbyjolong.com to be able to explore how we can develop a custom strategy for your business. I'll see you next week when I talk about more communication strategies.